That air receiver sitting in the corner of your shop, is it actually an ASME pressure vessel, or is it completely outside the code? Let's find out in 5 minutes. On-screen text, is it even an ASME vessel? Welcome back to ASME Section VIII Division 1. Episode 1, Scope and Exemptions. On-screen text, Episode 1, Scope or U-1 Exemptions. Here's the core rule from U-1. A pressure vessel is any container that holds pressure, internal or external, whether that pressure comes from an outside source or from heating the contents. Division 1 kicks in the moment your vessel's design pressure goes above 15 psi. Below that, you're outside Division 1's jurisdiction entirely, no U-stamp, no manufacturer's data report, none of it. That single number is the line every car engineer needs to know before they even open the code book. Next, size. U-1 exempts any vessel where the inside diameter, width, height, or cross-section diagonal is 6 inches or less, and here's the part people miss. There's no limit on length, and no limit on pressure either. A small instrument dome or a 6-inch nipple welded onto a line is completely exempt, no matter how much pressure it sees. It's one of the most misapplied exemptions in the code, because engineers assume a pressure cap exists here. It doesn't. Third, what the vessel is actually for. If a pressure container is an integral part of a pump, compressor, turbine, or engine, where its shape is dictated by the machine's mechanical function, not by pressure design, it's exempt. The same logic applies to piping. Anything whose primary job is transporting fluid from point A to point B, pipe, flangers, valves, fittings, falls under the B31 piping codes, not Division 1. The test isn't, does it hold pressure? It's, why does this shape exist? If the shape comes from a mechanical or piping function, Division 1 steps aside. Fourth, everyday low-pressure storage. A vessel holding water, including one with an air cushion, is exempt if design pressure stays at or below 300 psi and design temperature stays at or below 210 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot water supply tanks get their own exemption too. Heat input under 2 lakhs BTU, water temperature under 210 degrees Fahrenheit, and capacity of 120 gallons or less. That's your standard commercial water heater, completely outside Division 1. A few more named exclusions worth knowing. Fired process tubular heaters, pressure vessels for human occupancy, those fall under PVH01 instead, and anything already covered by another ASME section, like nuclear components under Section 3. Each has its own dedicated code, and Division 1 steps back to let that code govern instead. Here's why this actually matters on the shop floor. Must classify a vessel as exempt, skip the data report and the inspector sign off, and you may have built something that isn't legally installable, or insurable. Must classify it the other way, and you've added weeks of unnecessary compliance work to a part that never needed it. Scope isn't a formality, it's the first decision that shapes everything downstream. 3 things to remember. Division 1 starts above 15 psi. Vessels 6 inches or smaller in cross-section are exempt regardless of pressure. And function matters. Machinery parts and piping components sit outside the code entirely, even if they technically hold pressure. That's Episode 1. The full exemption breakdown is linked below on WeldFab World. Subscribe. Episode 2 is MAWP versus design pressure, and it trips up almost everyone.